Dunkirk is written and directed by Christopher Nolan, and this film follows several different Allied soldiers stuck in Dunkirk, France, who are surrounded by the German army and their effort to evacuate 300,000 soldiers during this battle for survival. Now, it's no secret that Christopher Nolan is flat out one of the best directors working right now. He's been able to craft some incredible films in the past 20 years, and he's been able to snag 3 Oscar nominations, one of which is a Best Picture nomination. And I honestly believe he might be able to secure another spot in that category. Dunkirk is an incredibly powerful, tense film that captures the essence and the horrors of war so well. Now, leading up to this movie, Christopher Nolan made it very clear that he didn't believe that this was even a war film. And after seeing Dunkirk, I really do understand what he means by that. What Dunkirk does that makes it so unique is there are only a few sequences in this film where the Allied forces are even fighting back against the enemy, because most of this film is just focused on one thing: survival. This is also a film that has a very minimal amount of dialogue, so a lot of the character development that you see in this movie is through action. Now, I want to make it very clear, just because you don't give a character a backstory and a reason for fighting, that doesn't mean that that character doesn't have any depth. Just because someone goes, yeah, I've got a pregnant wife at home, so now you know what I'm fighting for, that doesn't automatically mean that you care about that character. And I think the best way to describe Dunkirk is like watching the D-Day sequence in Saving Private Ryan, but stretching that sequence out to 2 hours. Now, this film being PG-13, it's nowhere near that brutal, but it is extremely tense, just as that scene is. And at the beginning of Saving Private Ryan, you didn't see Tom Hanks like grab somebody and be like, I'm gonna get you home so you can see your kid. It's just unnecessary. You're in battle. You don't care about what the guy next to you is fighting for. You're all fighting for the same thing, and that's for your country and to not die. And I am so glad that there is not one scene in this movie that does that. And that would have been so ridiculous if they would have, because there are several sequences in this movie where the characters make a certain decision, and the decision that they make is very telling of the kind of person that they are. There's not one moment in this entire movie where I went, you know what this scene needs? Some exposition. The point of this movie and the entire central focus of this film is on survival. So I would say if your biggest takeaway from this film and your biggest problem with it, that a lot of the characters in this movie don't have any depth whatsoever to them, I would say that you probably need to dig a bit deeper, because there are a lot of things to say about some of these characters. Christopher Nolan once again proves with Dunkirk that he is a masterclass filmmaker. There are certain shots and moments in this movie that are absolutely breathtaking. One moment you're admiring how incredibly beautiful some of the aerial shots are, and then the next moment you're holding your breath waiting to see what happens next. This film is absolutely relentless. More oftentimes than not, you are on the edge of your seat, just completely engrossed to what's happening around you. Now, I skipped the advanced screening for this movie because I wanted to see it in its true form. I wanted to see this movie in IMAX, and I am so glad that I did. If you're interested at all in seeing this movie, I strongly encourage you to go see it in IMAX. Christopher Nolan is not only able to utilize Hans Zimmer's incredible, suspenseful score throughout the entire movie, but also the fact that he shot this film using 70mm film. And he blends this with the IMAX cameras in a way that I feel as if you don't see this movie in IMAX, you're doing not only yourself, but also this movie a disservice. Overall, Dunkirk is a completely unique experience that is unlike any war movie that has come before it. The way it utilizes minimal dialogue really is able to enhance the visual and audio storytelling of this movie. Christopher Nolan continues to prove that he is doing things that no one else is doing, and if this movie doesn't finally get him that Best Director nomination, then I don't know what will. So did you guys see Dunkirk? What did you think about it? Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you liked today's video, and if you did, click on the link down below and subscribe to my channel for more movies and movie related things. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.